Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session that was created for a client that was concerned that every now and then they would feel that they would explode emotionally, and that might be losing their temper or getting angry or lashing out on the people they actually care and love for the most. And that's not unusual. Quite often people are, let's say, more willing to hurt the people they love than they would people actually they don't even like. And that strange dynamic can be mitigated when people are in a resourceful state. When people feel great, when they feel like their life's in control, they tend to be kinder and more patient and easier and more forgiving to themselves. And that's really what this session is all about, to develop two key things which I found really, really powerful to create change. And that is perspective and meaning. And what this uses as a hypnosis session is an exaggerated form of disassociation. So typically, if you've listened to some of my sessions before, you might hear the phrase, imagine seeing yourself as someone else. And that is disassociation, but from a fairly close perspective. This really exaggerates that, and you imagine seeing the Earth from the asteroid belt, so millions of miles away, and then from the edge of space, and then about the same height as a plane, and then from someone else in the same room. And those levels of perspective actually mean that for this client's case, they got to see their life as an outsider would, and actually evaluating that their life is pretty good. And that's an important distinction to make, because when you see your life objectively, you're able to do two key things. One, see all the good things that you might be overlooking. And secondly, have some ideas as to changes. And if you think of, let's say, a friend or a family member, imagine if you were them for a week, you could immediately make your life better. And the reason you can do that is because you have objectivity. You can see their life as an outsider, and that's quite powerful. And the second key thing is meaning. And when you give different meanings to stuff, then it has a different emotional reaction. And one of the key meanings here is that emotions aren't necessarily good or bad, just clues and signposts that can lead to decisions and actions. And if you see emotions that way, then emotions are very, very powerful. And when people are in tune with their emotions, it's almost like their unconscious is a superpower that's harnessed and working for them. And equally, when people are described as, let's say, thin-skinned or easily triggered, what they're saying is that their emotions are ruling them rather than the other way around. So there's a little bit going on in this session, but really it's about taking things like anger and a lack of patience and irritability and turning them into more resourceful states. It plays with ideas of disassociation and association, but also very powerful suggestions about empowerment and things being useful. I think you might find this session useful, irrespective of whether or not your life is anything close to the original client, just because everyone can become more resourceful and learn from, let's say, emotions that might not be useful all the time. We can all become evolved and better just by looking at life as a feedback loop. If you feel that I might be able to help you personally with certain things going on in your life with hypnotherapy, feel free to click the link in the show notes where you can schedule a free consultation call, or check out my website, which is adamcox.co.uk. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm relaxation, and feel that sense of serenity going in through your nose, down your windpipe into your lungs, almost that it's able to ease and dissipate any intense emotions. Imagine a color that represents serenity. Maybe a cool, pale, pastel color. And imagine as you breathe in, that color goes in through your nose and starts soothing any volatile emotions. And just imagine, sometimes things build up over time. A volcano doesn't erupt from nowhere. The pressure of the magma builds and builds until it forces through the Earth's crust. The explosion comes much later. Or perhaps imagine giant tectonic plates below the surface, there on the perimeter of the Earth, and just imagine a time lapse where hundreds of years are condensed into seconds. The earthquake follows a build-up of friction. Or perhaps you could imagine a pressure cooker with a gauge, a dial with green, amber and red. The pressure cooker is safe in green, still safe in amber. It's only when the pressure cooker continues to build and build and build without any release that the pressure builds up to that dangerous red level. And I want you to imagine, as you breathe in this calm serenity, imagine the magma and the lava never quite getting strong enough to protrude through the Earth's surface. Imagine the tectonic plates effortlessly sliding like two frictionless surfaces, no build-up of energy at all. And imagine that pressure cooker having an automatic release valve that the moment the dial turns from green to amber, excess pressure is automatically released as effortlessly as an outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, feel that any buildup of pressure inside you is melting away, is being released there in that outward breath. So simply by breathing in and breathing out, it's enough to find a perfect state of equilibrium, a wonderful feeling that things are where they're meant to be. And life is like nature. Every now and then, there will be a storm, but no storm has lasted forever. Calmness follows a storm. And in life, moments of extreme intensity, tight deadlines, stressful periods are just tiny storms lasting a short period of time, and very quickly blue skies and sunshine returns. I want you to imagine what it would be like to see Earth from the asteroid belt. Some people say that the asteroid belt was originally a planet, perhaps millions of years ago. A comet descended into a planet, and the asteroid belt is all that remains of what once was a planet. So imagine what it would be like to be able to see and breathe in space. And just imagine perching on an asteroid like a garden gnome in a garden, observing Earth from millions of miles away. Perhaps you can see it as that pale blue dot. Doesn't mean anything other than just a dot traveling through space and time. That billions of people, with all of their problems and stresses and demands, are all there in that pale blue dot. That from a cosmic perspective is no more significant than a blink of an eye or a grain of sand in a desert. And then imagine zooming in by a power of 10 to the equivalent of staring at Earth, perhaps from the edge of the atmosphere, seeing down, and maybe you see the outline of countries, clouds. You get a sense of perhaps cities, maybe see forests, but not much more than that. So imagine getting closer. Imagine observing your life from a few thousand feet. The ability to be detached and observe what kind of life you're living. Are you doing the things that you enjoy? Are you proud of what you've achieved? Are there things that from this distance looking down that you would say, this is a good life? And notice from this distance, you can't have any idea of workload, stresses and strains, deadlines and dilemmas. From this distance, all you can really evaluate is the most important things. Is this version of you doing what you love? With the people that you love? Are you able to make choices as to how you live? And from this distance, get a sense that things are pretty good. And then imagine getting closer. Zooming in by the power of 10, but not quite in your body. Imagine you are an invisible entity, perhaps observing your life from just a few feet away, able to see what you do and how you do it. And with this level of close detachment, maybe you can be inspired by subtle changes as to things that could be done differently, ways of dealing with stressful moments, ways to improve your energy levels and quality of life. Maybe you can observe a moment of explosive anger. But from this perspective, as an observer, maybe you can see that that is simply one of infinite choices, and there are so many ways to deal with what's happening. And if you can get a sense that in the same way that everyone is an expert on how a friend or family member could dramatically improve their life, imagine seeing yourself through that detached perspective, where the ideas come thick and fast as to subtle changes that give you more of what's good and less of what isn't. I want you to get a sense that you're able to disassociate from all those things that are disempowering and drain your energy, and start to associate into those important things. Connections, choices. There are some people living in the world, they don't get to choose what they do with their time. I want you to get a sense that there are some people in such ill health, they can't live a quality of life they would choose. And as you observe your life from this short distance, I want you to get a sense of just how much there is to be grateful for. And then imagine stepping into that version of you, but taking with you a sense of gratitude, resourcefulness, and a perspective that how you see your life when you look backwards and from above is how you start to feel your life is in the present. As you imagine looking through your life through a filter of deep appreciation. None of these things you have to do. All of these things you get to do. As you make the evaluation that you've chose this life, and anything you're not happy with, you can change. Imagine waking up feeling a sense of deep gratitude and a feeling that emotions are not good and bad, simply signposts, information, clues to decode, to figure out what to do or what to decide. And if your unconscious mind is willing to look at emotions as an intuitive feedback loop to empower you to make choices, let me know by nodding your head. Breathe in and breathe out, and just imagine experiencing a random day only through the lens of deep appreciation and gratitude, and through a certain filter, even the problems can be cause for appreciation. Because there are good problems and bad problems. And so many of those good problems are a side effect of choices you've made to have things this way. As you breathe in and breathe out, just imagine that you are more than capable of navigating turbulent emotions with ease and grace. Feel a surge of confidence and empowerment as you recognize that your sense of purpose comes from your various roles, the work you do, the person you are, and the lives you impact. And I wonder what would happen if you saw yourself as a victorious champion in the game of life, already winning by living your life, doing exactly what you wanted to do. And maybe you can adopt a belief that you are inherently resourceful, equipped with the skills, talents, and inner strength needed to meet life's demands with confidence and resolve. Still breathing in that calm serenity. With each breath, feel the deep sense of gratitude for the abundance of resources at your disposal, knowing that you possess everything you need to either overcome or learn from any challenge. Just imagine that any intense emotion is a signpost. It isn't good or bad in and of itself, just information guiding you towards action or decision making, empowering you to respond thoughtfully and proactively to life's twists and turns. Over time, feel that you're becoming more responsive to your emotions, capable of channeling their energy into productive pursuits. What if impatience leads to a feeling of resourcefulness to get more things done? What if intensity can be harnessed into exercise classes and ridiculously big goals? Feel a sense of clarity and purpose pulsating within you, driving you forward with unwavering determination to enjoy the journey as much as the wonderful destinations. Feel that in life you either win or learn, viewing every experience, whether perceived as success or failure, as an opportunity for growth and evolution. And I wonder how it would feel to have that deep sense of satisfaction and fulfillment as you align your actions with your values and goals, knowing that you are making a meaningful difference, even if it's just to one or two people each day. Because you are the architect of your destiny. You are designing your life. And you are empowered to create the life you desire through intentional action and unwavering belief in your abilities. You are more resourceful than you realize. And the only way to find that out is to believe it before you achieve it. If your unconscious mind is willing to trust more in your resources, to learn from life, to constantly evolve and grow, and to feel that better to live life as if you're winning every day than to feel that you're always one step behind. if your unconscious mind is willing to adopt tiny amendments, refinements to your perception of life to give you more of what's good and less of what isn't, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine amplifying all of your powerful internal resources by a power of 10. Your self-belief is increasing by a power of 10. A sense of inner confidence, feeling of worthiness, feeling of purposefulness, amplifying by a power of 10. As you activate this feeling of inner certainty, that your certainty comes from your purpose and your mission, and you can refine that at any point in time. You are not lost. You have found you. And as you accept that to be true, amplify all those other resources by a power of 10, feeling a sense of invincibility. That when life throws you challenges, it no longer phases you. It's an opportunity to continue to move forward where you win or you learn. Breathing in and breathing out, and just imagine what the next few days might be like with this updated viewpoint and amplified resources. And just imagine you detach by one level and see yourself over the next few days being that person. Notice that things that used to trigger anger and irritation no longer faze you. There is a lightness to your energy, an ease and elegance and grace. And then imagine observing that same version of you looking so resourceful from a few thousand feet in the air, still seeing you as in control, confident, purposeful. And then zoom up from the edge of the atmosphere, knowing that you're down there still doing that. And then all the way back to an asteroid, seeing a pale blue dot, knowing that that resourceful version of you is still there, living your life, seeing emotions as signposts to guide you to powerful, empowering decisions. And then imagine enjoying space for a few moments, noticing how calm and peaceful it is here, before it's time to return to the present, taking this perspective and new meaning with you. As you breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, feel like you're returning to the present moment as you wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling resourceful, comfortable, confident, with amplified resources throughout, starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.